What's going on, everybody? It's your boy Jay Rich. It's Wednesday, April the 3rd, and here are my NBA best bets presented by Pinnacle Sportsbook, your trusted sportsbook for the past 25 years. I think it's safe to say the dog days of the NBA are here. Maybe they've been here. Maybe they've been here since the All-Star break. I don't think it's ridiculous if you wanted to say that. Betting on the NBA has been so difficult, but we are back this week with some player props because we had some pretty good success with them over the past few weeks. So I am back. I found a couple of bangers. It's not quite as good as the last time I ran through the player props with you guys, but there is some great ones. So let's get into it right now. All right, so solid slate in the NBA today. We are going to kick it off with the first game on the board, the Los Angeles Lakers and the Washington Wizards. And let's get scrolling a little bit because we're not looking at AD. We're not looking at LeBron James. We are looking at D'Angelo Russell, points, rebounds, and assists over 26.5. Minus 128 right now. It was minus 119 when I was making my notes earlier, so it is already trending towards the over, and thankful for me, they are zapping the juice right out of the play before I even have time to record it. But it's a great play overall, and here is the reason why. So the line is 26.5. D'Angelo Russell in his last two games has gone over 30 plus points, rebounds, and assists. And if you want to go back a little bit further to his last four games, he's gone over in 3 of those 4, hitting 29 or more. And when you look at the matchup with the Wizards, this is literally one of the best in the NBA. They allowed the second most points, rebounds, and assists to opposing point guards. I also was looking at Austin Reeves a little bit because his line at 25.5 points, rebounds, and assists also looks good because they allow, I believe, the third most points, rebounds, and assists to opposing shooting guards. So whether you want to go Austin Reeves or D'Angelo Russell, I don't really care. The Lakers are also on a back-to-back, so maybe there's a chance LeBron sits. Now, he sat last week, so he's probably not going to sit this week, but there is always a chance at which point this line would get even better. But the core play for me is D'Angelo Russell. He's in slightly better form. He's playing a little bit better than Reeves, a little bit more consistent, and that's the main reason why I like Russell a little bit more. And at the time, it was a little bit better value on the board as well for your play. But for me, I still think Russell is the better play at 26.5, and I believe he'll be slightly more involved than Reeves. Now, if Braun is out, that may change, but at that point, both of these lines would be very good. So let's go back to the board, go to the next play, because I am going to Indiana and Brooklyn. They are on a home and home right now, and we're going to be going back to a player that I love in Mikal Bridges. Now, this line at 18.5 is a little bit higher than we'd like, but I'm still taking the over. Don't think I'm scared away because they bumped his line from 17.5 to 18.5. Now, the good thing for Brooklyn is that they are on the home side of the home and home with Indiana. But in terms of Bridges, 19 points in 3 of his last 4 games. And you look at his last 4 games against Indiana in particular, 19 plus points in 3 of those last 4 games. So already he is trending towards the over. Now, I do think this is going to be a pretty tight line, but it's still a top 5 matchup in the NBA. Indiana allows the 5th most points to opposing small forwards. And the last piece of data that I really like is when you look at the splits for Mikal Bridges for home and road, he scores 22 points per game at home and 18.7 on the road. So with this game being in Brooklyn, I think it's even more of a reason to take the over. And at minus 103, we're getting pretty damn good value. So while it'd be a much better play at 17.5, 18.5 minus 103, I think the value is there, and I think we can confidently take the over on Mikal Bridges at 18.5 points. Now let's get into the next one because there is one more that really surprised me. If you've been betting a lot on the NBA, this one may surprise you a little bit too, because this player, he don't really hit 3-pointers like that, or at least he hasn't for a long time. But Kevin Durant is the player we're looking at plus 108. So plus money, not even favored to hit this play, but at 2.5 threes, this actually looks like pretty good value. Now, when you're looking at Cleveland, they are stout defensively. That's one of the biggest problems with taking props against Cleveland in general. But in terms of KD, this is a top 10 matchup for power forwards against Cleveland. Hitting those threes, they don't cover it very well. They clog the middle, and there is opportunities on the boundary for shooters. And obviously we know Kevin Durant can do that. But the problem is he hasn't been shooting that many threes in the past few years, and his three-point average has gone down quite a bit. But recently, let me tell you, I was looking at the game log, KD's kind of hitting those threes, and that's the main reason why I'm looking at this play right now. So KD has hit 3 or more threes in each of his last 4 games. Now, let me tell you how many shots he's taken, because, of course, that matters as well. He's taken 11 three-pointers, 6 three-pointers, 7 three-pointers, and 4 where he did go 3 for 4. Quite efficient for that shooting. But if you're telling me he's going to be shooting 6, 7 three-pointers in a game, I'm more than willing to take the shot that he can make 50% of those and he can go over the 2.5 mark, especially at plus money. And then when you look at his history against Cleveland, he's actually scored 32 plus points and hit 4 plus threes in each of his last 3 games against the Cavaliers. Now, 2 of those games were on Brooklyn, but in his last game that he played against them with Phoenix, he went 5 for 10 from 3 and scored 32 points. So the matchup is good. The history is good. And most importantly, the form of Kevin Durant is very, very good right now. Did not expect to see him hitting the threes like that, but at plus money, I think we need to take a look and say, look, there's not a lot of good matchups against Cleveland, but this is one of them. But that's it for me, guys. Quick recap of the plays. We're taking D'Angelo Russell over points, rebounds, and assists at 26.5 minus 128. We're taking the over on Mikal Bridges points at 18.5 at minus 103. And we're taking the over Kevin Durant three-pointers at plus 108. Thank you guys so much for watching. You can follow me on Twitter or X at JaboyJRich. And make sure you're following Pinnacle across all of our socials. Good luck tonight. And as always, bet smart and bet Pinnacle. I'll see you guys next week. I'm out. Peace.